Thanks for staying with us. Fans of Fast and Furious sped their way to Summit Subang USJ for Malaysia's first live drifting event in a shopping mall. The carnival was held in conjunction with the release of the long-anticipated movie Fast and Furious 6. Our journalist Lu Yin-Hui was at the scene to experience the ride.
Throughout the 4-day event, almost 10,000 people joined in the fun of the pocket activities organised. One of the highlights of the carnival was the opportunity for a few lucky individuals to experience drifting, as passengers, of course.
This is the first time drifting on the road. Previous experience was drifting on sand dunes in Dubai, so it's very different. But I think what was most interesting was, he was spinning about 5 times there, and couldn't see much because the dust was actually getting to the eyes. Yeah, so before you even had time to get scared, it was over already.
First you were like, just slow, you say, like bring it slow only and then suddenly you hear 2-3 times the exhaust go and then bang!
So, will you join second time?
Oh yes, please. If they can teach me how to do that, I want to do that. Seriously.
In this Fast and Furious 6 movie carnival, 20% has won their chance to go on a ride with the Blue Jackets racers. The performance has also cheered up the surrounding crowd. I'm Lu Yin-Hui, reporting from Subang Jaya, Selangor.
In August, Camellia will be the first Malaysian comic to hit the silver screen. To mark this milestone, its music album was launched today. The album comprises soundtrack from the movie, including the theme song I Behave. Present at the launch were the movie's main characters Coco, Mei Mei and Yun Cai. Together, the three of them sang the theme song I Behave.
是第一部，也是第一次经历这种电视或者电影的这样子的娱乐。是我的话，应该有2-3次，还有其他 MV 啊、电视剧啊，很多。
In this movie, the name of the character is actually called Yun Cai. Before this, I haven't really acted in any movie at all, more or less only in music videos.
All three of them agreed that the involvement in the film was fun and described it as a good experience. The two kids who are still studying in primary school said they have to find a balance between their studies and film involvement. During the making of the album, the film company organised film music album competition in Penang, Ipoh, Johor and Kuala Lumpur, from which 12 talented children were chosen to contribute their vocals in the Camellia album. In 2011, Hosni Mubarak was ousted from his position as the 4th president of Egypt after 18 days of demonstration by the nation's people. Nearly 2.5 years later, Egyptians are out on the street again, this time to protest against Egypt's first democratically elected president, Mohamed Morsi.
In Cairo Tahrir Square, thousands of people joined in a protest yesterday, calling for the departure of President Morsi. The move was triggered by the deepening capitalist economic crisis across the country, which Morsi failed to handle. The demonstrators are also not satisfied with the attempts by Morsi and his Muslim Brotherhood to restrict democratic rights. The protest was called by a new youth group, Tamarot, which said that it has collected 22 million signatures calling for Morsi removal. Meanwhile, the headquarters of Muslim Brotherhood in Cairo was attacked with stones and firebombs.
فبعون الله برضه بالمظاهرات السلميه واعتصام الشعب والجماهير في محافظات مصر كلها هتجبر مرسي والاخوان ان هم يسيبوا الحكم.
No job is without its risks, especially not for a professional alligator trapper. In the US, reptile rescue expert Jason Clark was bitten by a lurking alligator in his effort to capture the 20-pound creature.
Since last fall, there were reports of the 3.5-foot gator, large enough to eat a small dog, seen lurking beneath the still waters of Lawrenceville Lake. It's not known how the alligator ended up in the pond, but it was likely once a pet whose owner was unable to look after it once it grew larger. When residents of Lawrenceville near Atlanta decided to rid their lake of the alligator once and for all, they called upon the expertise of Southeastern Reptile Rescue. The husband and wife team, Sarah and Jason Clark, came to the scene. In Jason's attempt to catch the gator by its tail, it spun its head around and bit into Jason's forearm, tearing at his skin. After some struggle and with the help of his wife, he was able to free himself from the gator's teeth. The gator certainly left its mark on Jason, but the residents are pleased to know their pond is at last gator-free.
The result for today's SMS poll is in. The question was whether GST should be implemented in Malaysia. 80% of voters don't think so. The other 20% are of the opinion that now's the time to implement GST in Malaysia. Thank you for participation. Let's recap tonight's news. Haze in Malaysia takes a turn for the worse, with the API in Muar reaching a dangerous level. The anticipated Sukma 2013 starts today in Bukit Jalil Mini Stadium. And protesters in Egypt unite to overthrow President Morsi. That's all for our news tonight. To end this segment, let's enjoy a clip of the Vesak procession in Jenjarum. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for Criminal Minds on Channel 8 right after this. Salam Sejahtera.